Hey viewers, curious to know why I'm here, who am I in the first instance, and who is that going to be on that stage today. My name is Naveen, and I'm also associated with the general class that's going to be, it's actually happening JTD, Joining the Dots. And today, here, in our presence, it's going to be the man behind the magic, which is DJ, Dhananjay Ramakrishnappa. I would love to I'm actually very fortunate to interview him today. Please welcome DJ.
Thanks, Naveen.
Hey DJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, but this is very odd.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? I think sitting on this side of
I know. I
it's
mean
much easier.
that was my first question. I mean, how are you feeling there? You've always been the other part of the.
No, I think I'm pretty relaxed. That I think when he said you are coming to Bangalore from Gujarat,
Yeah.
I said okay, get my interview done because I don't think anybody else could have done it better than you.
I mean, that's a see. It's basically a fan moment to me. I mean, I've always been a big fan of you and all the work that you've been doing. I mean, I'm
That's very kind. Yeah, likewise.
Besides being your friend, I mean, I've also been a big fan.
Mhm.
So, a lot of questions to ask you today.
Mhm.
Probably, I don't know whether 1 hour of time is
No,
enough.
Ganesh has said it will be multi-episode. So I told him, right, if Naveen is coming, the whole night is. So if you see the interview calendar, 6 p.m. to 7 a.m.
It's going to be really fun. I mean,
Yeah.
each one of our questions probably, I mean, in our previous discussions too, single
Mm.
small little concepts, I mean, used to take away the entire
Correct.
nights. Now, I don't know. I have a list of questions, and most of them we have already spoken. That's actually good. I mean, it's for the benefits of the viewers and others as well. So that is the main content. So, okay, shall we start?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, DJ,
Mm.
so starting from your background, right? So let's start with your childhood. Right? So how did it go? I mean, just give us a glimpse of your background, your childhood, and so on.
Yes, I would probably give it, but it's actually very hypocritical because if my students did everything that I did as a child, I would whack them, right? So, and given that I think the entire world is going to see now, I think my reputation is going to be at stake. Okay, so I was the youngest among 4 children. So my parents are from Kolar. So my mother is from Kolar district and father is from Malur. So I'm youngest of 4. So we have this what is it? We make the difference between me and my sister is 5 years. So many a times I think you get the joke. I don't want to say it. So my brother is my eldest brother is 8 years elder to me. Second brother is 6 years elder, and my sister is 5 years.
So you're the spoiled
I'm the
family.
I think I was. To be honest. I think I was actually. To be honest, many a times I question my parents' parenting skills. Right, I wouldn't have been very kind to a child like me. But yeah, so I was born in Bangalore. So when I was born, I was the 4th child. Then yeah, I think my mother had to come back from Kolar within a month of my birth. So my childhood was pretty much taken care by my aunt. Her name is Rani. So she took care of me until 5 years. I think my spoiling started with her. So she was so obsessed about my what is it, caring about me. So if somebody gave me a peck on the cheek, she would come and like just wash my face and put powder. So that's how spoiled. Like I think that's where it started. She's still kind of she has 4 children, but she's more partial to me compared to her own children. They might be watching, which is fine. So it started from there. Um, somewhere I think I feel my parents did not have did not have the time to discipline me. So I was also a big bully to my cousins. I took care of them, but I think I was a bully. I'm probably a bully by nature, I would say. So yeah, and we were in Bangalore. So my father and mother were both very prominent in their respective families. So that whole inheritance came to us. So there came some sort of an assigned power, which was misused, obviously. But then, yeah, I think by the time, yeah, I think childhood, I studied in a school in Magdi Road. Then I came to Vasavi Vidyapita. I scored 37th rank out of 42 people in my first standard. I don't know what happened. Suddenly, I came to my second standard and I started scoring second rank.
Okay.
I really have no idea. I just started studying once the school changed. I don't know why.
very early point of your childhood.
Yeah,
Actually,
suddenly,
second
right? I think
standard.
the graph was like just up. And I don't question those things, right? I don't want to reason certain things that are like
Yeah,
they were very magical. School was very good. Thankfully, I went to a school which was very responsible. I think just to talk about how much they were driven, right? This whole student centricity, it's spoken too much nowadays. They took admission fees from us and they deposited all our admission fees in a bond.
Okay.
When I passed my 10th standard in 1996 7, I got 15,000 rupees, which was invested over a period of time.
Seriously.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So such was the school. So it's a great school. That way, I think, like, I think most of them were lower middle class. And we never kind of, I think we went early to school and we came back only at 5:30 ish. We played and all that. My teachers were really good. I think I was again right. The bullying continued. I also scored well, so which means I got that additional respect.
Yeah.
So there was this thing that people should listen to, like the childhood nonsense we had. Uh, but then I think it started reducing a little bit when I came to the high school. So some other boys also grew taller. So now they were like, "Hey, why the hell?" I think the awareness kicked in, right?
True.
Just because somebody studies, why the hell we have to get bullied? So yeah, but high school was okay. So it was in everything was going well. Ninth standard, I became a little notorious.
Okay.
Maybe I think that was the time where all this puberty thing hit, and I famously stole like 300 rupees from my father's pocket. 3 continuous days. How stupid! 3 continuous days in 95. I stole 300 rupees, 100 rupees, 100 rupees. First day, my father didn't get it out. Right? Maybe he thought he was an accountant. Maybe he missed it. Second day, partial out. Third day, it was clear. And very infamous incident. So we wanted to show that I was in ninth. So we wanted to show our 10th standard students we were also like no less. So we took a crate of cool drinks to the classroom. Okay.
Fine.
And our class monitor, I told sorry to her later, like very, very late. So she said, I'll write your name on the board. And the stupid me, I think I just took the cool drink and just put it on her.
My God.
To my misfortune, there was a politician, and I don't want to name the politician because I don't want to get into controversy, but he had poured alcohol on a prominent personality statue.
Oh, wow.
So my principal compared that event to this event, so which was bad luck. So they were about to rusticate me from the school, but and I also did another notorious thing where I wanted to write a response. So my plan was I purposefully said I had stomach pain and took a day off. The next day when I was going to school, I did this drama that with my father. He dropped me, and I said, "You have to sign on the leave letter." Then he signed on an empty paper and he said, "I have never done this in my life. Careful." Then rather than writing a leave letter, I wrote a response to all the shit that I had done.
My God.
Okay, so ninth standard was like crazy. Literally, I was on house arrest. I got my marks. I was always scoring like 80 plus. Sixth, I scored 63, 64. So I was like grounded, house arrest. I was coming to 10th standard, right? My brother bought me all 4 subjects books and they put me in, but I couldn't study, right? It was force. Thankfully, my sister's marriage got decided in my 10th standard. So the attention shifted. Otherwise, it would have been like, so it ended up with, the graph was great. 9th standard, I think I probably got a lot corrupt. I'm not very proud of what I was in my 9th standard. 10th, I reformed a little bit, thankfully. And all the grounding and the house arrests really helped. Maybe if my parents are listening, they might not even remember. They probably thought they were disciplining. Right?
They wouldn't forget all
They wouldn't forget, right? Exactly. So pretty much that was the year where my father had to go to the principal, my mother, my brother, my sister, everybody went to the principal and said sorry. I still believe the only reason my school kept me for 10th standard, they would have lost one first class.
Oh my God.
Otherwise, if I was a low scoring student, they would have kicked me out.
I remember that era.
Right?
Yeah.
But my teachers were great. So I had Uma Miss, who is no more. So she scolded me throughout my school and she was giving my example after I left the school.
Don't be like
Yeah. No. B.
the other way.
Like I think
Oh, wow.
study like, yeah, I don't know what changed. Netravati Miss was somebody I think who was extremely, what is it? I think she pretty much took care of me very well. My favorite was Aruna Miss, who was teaching me social. Mathematics never went into my head. So I finished my 10th standard. I wanted to do history. And right?
You ended up being a very successful engineer later.
I'm not. I can't even say that because I want to have a career less
No,
spoken
I
about in the
mean,
better.
not ended up, but you
Yeah.
still are a good
Yeah,
success.
pretty much the childhood was that. Childhood was, I think I was a bully. 9th standard put some breaks. 10th started my reformation. It was in 10th standard I started becoming, how do you say? I think someone decent. So till then, I think it was like I was the youngest, right? So I would speak a lot of nonsense. I famously remember that I'd gone to my brother's friend's house.
Okay.
So my father and his uncle, they were talking. So my father was saying we have 50,000 rupees debt, whatever. And I was so stupid, and also like I had such attitude that I said, "Oh, 50,000, right? We'll pay it off." And uncle basically told my brother that, "No, what is he? How can he talk like that?" And I was very, very pissed off at him. But now I realize
What age were you then?
I was 14. See, it was just that I think they didn't put brakes on my tongue, right? I think I could speak. I told you about that assigned power, right? Even my father was like he took most responsibility on his side. My mother took all the responsibilities on her side. So whatever good work they did, so people did not complain about us because we had that power, which I didn't understand. So everybody treated well, and I think somewhere, again, I think I'm not putting the blame on all of them. I should have also had some sense, but yeah, I'm not very proud of that, 95, 96 person. Yeah, I think it was, I would whack my child today. I think if my child behaved like that, I would discipline my child. So don't be like me until 14.
Don't be like him during his 95 and 96.
Yes. So yeah, I think I don't know. That suffices. Like that was childhood, like late childhood, teenage also.
Have you ever seen a child, a kid, or even a grown up for that matter, who don't call his dad as dad or father? Have you ever met him?
Okay. I don't know why it happened. So I don't know. See, again, this is like maybe again I blame it on my mother. She should have forced me. So I never called my father as father.
Like
I said,
Appa,
no, nothing,
Nana, or
nothing,
nothing.
no. Come, Banni hogi. Please come, please go. Zero.
How, I mean, I always felt, I mean, how was communication even possible? Like, I mean, you can't address like, hey, you can't.
Oh, I'll tell you a very funny incident once. So he dropped me to my violin class.
Okay.
And I forgot to take bus charge from him. So it was Vidyapita Circle.
Okay.
Right? I had to walk with a violin otherwise.
Oh.
Tama. So my father has gone 100 meters away from me.
Okay.
Even that did not force me to call his name. I ran. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, I can't.
Weird, but
Visualizing that.
it can't. Now I think it feels very artificial.
Even now, right? Even now, you
No,
don't call
no,
your father
no,
as
no.
Appa or Nana.
So if he's sitting there, if I am addressing him to my mother, I call him, right? So directly, I don't call him that.
Correct. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird.
It's very, very weird. I don't think.
Yeah.
I have not seen another person doing that.
No, I can't. Yeah, that I can't do, and then I haven't called anybody as Atta and Mava.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, right. And that at least is fine. I mean, people call him aunt or uncle or whatever.
Yeah,
right? So
these three words.
Their in-laws also these days. It's like.
I was a little worried about if my daughter does the same, but she very sweetly calls us Appa. So I'm like, leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, your dad wouldn't have minded because there are other three who are calling you.
Exactly. Yeah. He would probably, but they tried actually once. I think they used to. I had to go for a cricket match.
Okay.
On a Sunday. Okay. They said if you call him that, we will. He got me this famous 30 rupees pilot pen.
Okay.
Remember, those were very expensive. If you remember, 30 rupees in 95, 96. I went and sat near him for like 30 minutes. I couldn't do it.
Oh my God.
The one thing is, I can't be like, in the sense, it's very difficult to get things by force. I just can't do that. I think, right? I think I'll rather tell him that I'm not able.
I have experienced that. This is a little too weird to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, there is another weird thing about my family. So all of them speak in Kannada.
Yeah.
So all 3 kids were speaking in Kannada because they were in Bangalore.
Correct.
So when my grandfather told my mother that at least to the last child teach Telugu. So the funny thing is, I speak with everybody in Telugu. All of them speak to each other in Kannada. To add to this, chaos, my second brother speaks to my mother and father in Telugu, rest of them in Kannada. Mother, father, and me in Telugu. So if you come to my house, people complained. I didn't realize. See, suddenly for them, part of the conversation was muted. A Kannadiga comes, right? They have understood some conversation. Suddenly we are speaking in
Right.
Telugu. Yeah.
So there's a lot of algorithms used to happen during that phase in your family.
See,
already.
it's there. You got to be multilingual. You're in Bangalore. You have to know multiple
that is there.
languages.
that is a given there.
Right. Yeah.
So what happened of your 10th?
10th happened. 10th I scored around 72%. Thankfully, my father's boss was a trustee at National College. That was probably the best thing that happened to me. I wanted to go to KLE, Nijlingappa College.
Correct. Yeah.
Because I wanted to do history, arts. But that did not suffice. My brother said nothing doing science. Scored 72. 72. By the way, percentage of 72 was decent
Yeah,
percentage.
very nice. Very, very decent.
Right?
Yeah.
Today, I think any idiot gets 72, right? It was not. Back then, correction was strict. So he wrote a recommendation letter, my dad's boss. And thanks, H. Narsimaya then, Dr. H.N.
Yes.
was the founder of National College. He had like a pile of letters like my letter.
Of course.
And all of them came. They pleaded to him, and they couldn't get a seat. So my brother had gotten a merit seat at National College, Jayanagar. Both my brothers got a merit seat at National College, Jayanagar, because they were good students. For me, a recommendation was required. Right? So we went there. We stayed there from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So thanks to my brother, right? My brother's patience. So we did not even eat lunch, whatever. When HN saw us like staying from 9 to 4, I was destined to go there. So he signed the letter and gave me an admission.
Wow.
Thankfully, I think that was the best thing that happened to my life. And I go to National College. It is a complete inverse. So while I was in my school, I was one of the best students, top of the stack. National College, people have learned some syllabus in the summer holidays.
My God.
The lecturer comes first day as if he thinks like mathematical induction. He wrote an algorithm. 90% of the class understood.
God.
And I was like, I think, what do I do? Right? Mathematics, first of all, I think it's so scary. But then I think National College had, now I think it's very different. Like back then, there were only 3 or 4 good colleges, right? There was MES, National, Vijaya,
Correct.
Max, right? St. Joseph's was all like just coming up there.
Yes, yes.
But we had like some stalwarts. So we had Professor Anantrangan. When he said something, I think the entire class heard his lessons, right? Even I, who was not a mathematics enthusiast, I think when he wrote those equations, I understood.
Correct.
Okay. And there was no corruption back then, right? I think they didn't say. Now I think people have stopped studying textbooks.
Yeah.
So 50% of the textbooks were written by my staff,
Correct.
right? My professors.
True, very true.
Okay, excellent and expert series,
Correct,
right?
excellent and expert.
Expert series, Y. Tulajappa was my botany professor.
Correct.
Dhananjay sir was also my zoology lecturer. There was MS Venkatraman, Anantrangan, Amara Prabhu. Then I think I forgot the madam. These were like some of the best. You didn't have to go for tuitions.
True.
That's how good they were.
Mm.
We only went for CET tuitions, but they were some of the best teachers, I think, right? Kudos. I think they knew the subject. Whatever questions you asked, I think they answered. So anyway, I think National College was fun. Being an underdog was something that I started in my PUC. But first PUC, I scored, I didn't go to college. I got scared.
Okay.
This mathematics, right? Except for a few classes, I didn't go. My attendance was like 40%.
Oh, okay.
So I famously scored 236 out of 600 in my first PUC. So I failed in mathematics. I got 19 out of 100. But then nobody failed in first PUC. Nobody failed. They pushed me.
They push you.
So the 30, right? So I remember, right? I had gotten third class. Right. It's very shameful.
Still, I'm trying to digest the entire thing, and I don't know how to fit in this. I mean, like, third class in your first PUC, and then
it's not like I scored very well before also. So I was always like, okay, school, I think I studied well. But then I think 10th and first year had huge
Yeah, that I understand.
Right?
Even I was from the
Yeah,
science point.
suddenly it is like, I think,
A total shift. A
yeah,
lot of trigonometry, a lot of organic chemistry, and all
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So second year, first year, I think I did this, and everybody was concerned. Thankfully, my parents did not admonish me. Nobody sat me and discouraged me.
Okay.
So they were somewhere. I think they had some hope. I was okay. I was not very hardworking, but I was okay. So I told my father famously. I don't know why this happens. There are many such things we will talk in the podcast. I told him, "Why do you worry? I will score 85% in my second year, and I would never copying over my dead body."
Correct.
Right? Okay, because we went to RSS as children, and I think it was taught very clearly.
True.
All this integrity was strong. Um, so second year, what happened was, even it took me like couple of months. I just couldn't come out of the shock. Uh, one fine day, so my brother had gotten a seat in Vijayanagara Medical College. It was actually a very tough time for the family. So my brother's admission was 15,000 rupees. My sister had gotten married 2 years ago. So all the loans had piled up. So paying 15,000 to my brother was difficult. So it was very difficult for my father to buy books. So the money that he gave to my brother gave me a couple of hundred rupees for my textbooks. I hadn't opened it until September 98.
God.
Again, I don't know what happened. One fine day, I opened the textbook and I started solving problems. It came. I still have no idea why it happened. I just started. Things went well. I should thank my cousin Chetana. Chetana had gotten 226 rank in CET. So one day I went to her house. I'm actually very good at following people that I respect. So I went to her house and she gave me like a schedule. Her schedule was get up at 5 in the morning, sleep at 12 in the night, study, 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 study. But whatever she said, I did it. Right? I think I probably shouldn't oversay it because I should have gotten more marks. She said put all the organic chemistry formulas on charts and put it on the wall. So my entire room was like full of charts. There was no wall that could be seen. Right? Like because of her, I think that came in. Physics was my toughest. I couldn't understand. I still don't understand a lot of physics concepts. Thankfully, what happened in my second year is calculators were not allowed.
True. Log charts.
Log charts.
Yeah.
That year, logistics screwed up. So they couldn't supply enough logarithm tables to us. All of us got grace marks in problems. Okay.
Can you beat that?
It's right. I had never scored. Those physics problems were tough.
I know.
Right? For me, I think even today,
How did that happen? See, 1 year back, one year before
Mm.
you could do. I mean, that was one of the toughest years, and the maximum number of people flunked that year, including me. That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
98.
Yeah,
So
98.
I attempted. I didn't clear it though. I attempted a second PUC. That was the toughest examination
One of the
paper ever.
toughest, right?
And they were like
No, mine was 99.
19 years.
99. Yeah, 98 was tough. I
98.
remember my seniors telling me that.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
almost like 39% of us failed.
Yes.
So it was like terrible in the history. And so there was an interim supplementary also in 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Like I think April or May results got announced, and then in July they had another supplementary, in interim supplementary,
Oh my
not the September.
Okay, that wasn't happening. You would lose a year, right?
Yes,
Back
yes,
then. Yeah.
yeah. So because there were so many engineering and medical seats unfilled, so they said that we'll do this way at least. So that happened a year back, and this
exam is probably
is
luck, right? Yeah. No, we were destined, right? I think I feel I knew enough to answer, but physics problems were tough. I think, like, maybe I didn't study, maybe I didn't invest it. Like, I was not really interested in science. Even today, there are tons of things, but I'm more interested in people side of things.
Yeah.
Not on the scientific things, right? So thankfully, thanks to logarithm shortage, I scored highest in physics. I got 86 out of 100.
Look at that.
By the way, scoring 86 was hard back then, right? I think very few people got 90. It's not like today, right? Every child is 90.
No. It was never like that.
So I scored 86. I remember, right? I scored 86 in physics, 85 in mathematics, 82 in chemistry. Okay.
I'll just fast forward it to a stage wherein DJ has some patents in his names. So
Okay.
I know that's technology and this is science.
Yeah.
I hate to call it as science and technology as two different streams.
Yeah.
It is always the same for me,
Yeah.
at least. So how did that happen?
Patents.
Yeah.
See, I think
a person who was not interested in a lot of maths and science. So.
They are not connected, to be honest, right? So my patent, again, right now it is public, I can speak about it. So when I was working at Microsoft, so I was in a team where we had a new project. That code has to be written in something called PowerShell. It was a scripting language.
Yeah.
For a lot of developers who were coding in C, C++, PowerShell was like below their standards.
It was like your DOS, right? I mean, it was like
yeah, something like, hey, what is this? I think who will, yeah, it was all like it looked like grunt. For me, it fascinated me, right? I think what happened was I had to work on encrypting the Exchange data center.
Okay.
The Exchange was moving from on-prem to cloud.
Okay, yeah.
And securing the cloud meant all the banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase came on cloud.
Yes.
Opportunity was big. And I'm like, okay. And somebody said, if we don't do this well, we might lock ourselves of our own data. Now, when you put in some element of danger, I really get interested, right? See, I still feel I connect more to the villain in the movie than the hero. So these kind of things always connect me a lot, right? So then I was working on this project very quickly, jumping, right? I think then I understood. Then I thought, hey, what if somebody inside could go and get everything out, wipe it off?
True.
So when I first spoke, who will do it? So somewhere I couldn't take it out of my head. Then I started going and speaking to a lot of people. Then I think I lobbied. Then thankfully, right, Microsoft was again a place where if you were right and if you wanted to put the effort, you would get it. So it took me 6 months, but I think I got like one of the best developers, Manohar. I'd worked on antiviruses and he was one of the best developers that I have worked with. He came in, he was crazier. So both of us got together and we implemented a solution. He implemented it, but I did all the people side of things. I think it was the passion towards solving a problem. I don't think it was me knowing tech. Even today, I think I don't know how to write. It was a driver. It was not even an application, right? Imagine me writing driver code. I can't. So he wrote it, but we took the risk. It paid off. And filing patent was more of an accident. When I was in Bangalore, Microsoft, I had not much work to do. So I sat and one fine day I booked an appointment. He was the chief information security officer. When he heard the idea, he got excited suddenly. He said, "Okay, let's file it." I said, "Okay, file it." So Microsoft has a lot of money, so they filed it.
It's not as simple as he's actually making
No,
it.
I think, to be honest, it was. It was persistence and belief. See,
a lot of efforts, right? So when we're discounting,
paid for it. See, they're putting salary into your account. That is the minimum you have to do, right? See, I genuinely cared about the problem. It was not about how do you put it? I think like the recognition that you get or something like that. It has never been that, to be honest. It has never been about personal recognition or whatnot. In fact, I hate it when the recognition comes. Right, even today, that has been the major problem. Okay. I am very shy about recognition. I'm also sometimes get irritated. Sometimes when they put the shawl on you and all that, that's very.
You ate away one question.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but we can talk about it. But yeah, I think it was just the passion. It was just, I think, that unrelenting belief that I think this is a problem that is going to affect the company, and we have to solve it. Today we have solved it. I think the security got increased by 90+% there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is still there. I think we can probably put a link of the patent. Somebody want. It's actually a good solution.
Fantastic.
To be honest, yeah, it's called Disk Locker. That is the name of the product.
I use Microsoft a lot. I mean,
yeah. It's actually I don't think I can give away the implementation because it's proprietary.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay. Coming back to your good olden days.
Yeah, so the results came, right? The day the results came, you know how, right? I think there was no internet.
Yeah.
You had to go to the college.
Correct.
So I went to the college. I had a hero book, famous two-gear hero book, right? That was
American hero book.
Because all the little not so cool kids had Luna and TVS.
True.
Right? The most cool kids had a bike.
Correct.
Me, intermediaries like me had hero book.
Hero books.
It was fun. That was a bloody great bike, right?
I loved hero book.
70 kilometers per liter. Absolutely. Can you imagine? Petrol was 20 rupees. Okay. So you put 20 rupees and then you can just roam around the whole day.
True.
So I went to college. I noted down my marks. Then I came off. While coming off, I think like the path is like, I think I want to come back home and like I'm not able to reach. National College is just here, no traffic. I took like Chamrajpet, Goripalya, and I'm coming to Vijayanagar. So it was endless. I haven't even counted my marks, like percentage. I noted it down because I was expecting somewhere around 60, 65. Because somebody was scored third class, what more can he expect? Right? So I come home and then there was this friend of my sister, Chandrika. She looked at the marks and said 85% the PCM. I'm like, hey, are you serious? uh, and then I think I realized a little bit. Even then, it hadn't sunk in actually, right? Everybody was talking about. Now suddenly people were proud. But I enjoyed the process. I'm still not very connected with the results. I think that keeps me very sane. But again, I don't know if it was a question. I'm sorry.
One of those.
I came in. I got the marks. Then I knew my CET would be tough, very bad, because most of the things I hadn't understood it to an extent where I could apply it.
Correct.
I would have been a much better student with the kind of discipline that I have today. I wish, but I wasn't like that. I was not very questioning a lot. I think I was also coming in from the third class shock, right? Anyway, I made it happen. CET rank was around 5,552.
Which is still good.
Which, oh, my brother was furious.
Oh my God.
Right? He went to Bangalore Medical College. So I was a blot. Right. So anyway, if he's watching, right, I think he wouldn't know. Means all of us don't know, right? I put that stress on my students and they go through it. So,
Sorry.
So what happened was I got the ranking and my brother was shouting, and somebody was saying it's a decent rank. He said, "What decent?" At 85%, because my CET marks were terrible. I still remember my marks. Physics was 17.75 out of 60. Mathematics was 32. Chemistry was 26. Biology I didn't write. I slept in the KLE College Park. I knew no way I would get a medical seat. Why would we go? Actually, I wrote it. I famously went 30 minutes late to a CET exam. Finished it. So biology I didn't study. I literally didn't study. There was a section 2 into some 5 is equal to 2 into 10 is equal to 20 marks. I left the whole section. I studied 5-6 concepts. I wanted 30 marks, 35 marks. I got 62. I don't know how. Circulation. I know circulation, but I don't know double circulation. Something like this, right? I think I even don't know that is even those are even concepts. I was not very what is it? I didn't enjoy what is it learning those, but I had to do it. So yeah, I think I finished it. Then I was getting a seat in Ambedkar College or Siddhganga College in Tumkur. Then there was this whole drama of creating another branch called information science.
Yes, yeah.
Which was probably one of the biggest rumors. Everybody spoke about information science. It's like generative AI today. Not many people know what is generative AI. Everybody speaks about it. So they said information science is electronics, mechanical, computers, everything combined. How can somebody do that? All they had done was take a few subjects from computer science and add something new so that they could increase the number of seats in the college. That's it.
I remember those days.
Right?
Seriously.
Now I think people have done 18 courses. Now there is artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, all not. 18 kinds of engineering in a school because they have to fill up 5,000 people. But yeah, I think Siddhganga College again, see, thankfully I studied in institutions which were very value-based, value-centric. My school, I told you, right?
Correct.
They basically saved money and gave us like that bond.
Right.
My college fees was 3,000 rupees. Getting 15,000 was not a small deal.
True.
It took care of all my expenses.
True.
But when I came to when it came to engineering, I wanted to stay in the hostel. My engineering friends will laugh at me because every weekend I came off to Bangalore, right? So they'll be like, yeah.
So who will do that? Actually?
Somewhere, see, but I think that going to Tumkur was good, right? Because school, then Dr. HN in PUC, then Shivkumar Swamiji in Tumkur, right? I went to universities, I think like schools which were schools and universities which was really valuable, right? Like that man, Shivkumar Swamiji being a saint, right? I think he was so disciplined and he had educated, like he has educated lakhs of people. Today there are IAS officers, politicians, whatnot.
Correct.
Just imagine, right? One man thought about something and relentless krushi, right? I think, and what has happened? So Dr. HN was also right. Again, I don't agree with a few principles of Dr. HN.
Of course, yeah.
That's okay, right? I think we are argumentative Indians, so we don't have to agree with everything. But again, he instilled this thing of, sir, good morning, sir. Hey, namaskara ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. English or no? Are you from Britain? Why are you telling me good morning? Say namaste. It's applicable. So engineering, I did okay. Engineering again was a little difficult journey because I scored 76% in my first semester. That was probably the first time a little bit of ego kicked into my head that I had scored well.
Okay.
Because suddenly, right, I think I had this up in second year. Also, that continued with my engineering.
Correct.
And I somehow became a little toxic at that time.
Okay.
That was probably the only time where I compared people a short while. I don't compare people.
Correct.
This person is like below me, above me, and all that. But thankfully, God had good plans. Second year, I scored 62%. I famously remember my mother knowing my first year engineering result, 76. By the way, 76 was like decent percentage.
Amazing.
Engineering, right?
Yeah.
My class highest was 84, 85.
Correct.
Second year, she had gotten me a watch
Okay.
because she thought I would score as much. I couldn't get out of that shock. I scored 60. Then I think I didn't get a distinction until my final semester. But final semester, every idiot gets a distinction because right,
Yeah.
you don't have only one subject. Everything is project, right?
Correct.
So I got only one distinction in engineering. Everything else was I couldn't sit for any placements.
Okay.
So that was my engineering. But that was also a good thing because given that I couldn't sit for placements, I decided I will go to US.
To do your MS there. So
I did my MS. I wrote my GRE. Back then, I used to date someone, so it was also a reason for me to like extend 1 year of stay. I felt I can spend some more time with her, but she was actually very instrumental in my GRE.
okay.
My English was terrible. Grammar is still terrible, but at least I'm fluent now. Her mother was a central government employee,
Okay.
so his phone was free. Vodafone made incoming free after night.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So the entire night I would like, I think her mom would sleep, pick up the phone. So my TOEFL English speaking skills, everything came from that.
Quite productive conversations then. So
She was actually the boss. So she was the leader of the whole thing. And she would say, I think I did 3 wrongs. Like how I would yell at my students, she would say, what the hell is that? What is 3 wrongs? I made 3 mistakes. Right. So she taught me like, and she was a Tamilian. She didn't know Kannada, I didn't know Tamil. So both of us had to speak in English. She had to bear my English, and thankfully that worked out. And when I wrote my GRE in December 2003, I scored 520 out of 800 in verbal. So which was, except one person, it was highest for my engineering class. And everybody was like, how did
shocked.
DJ get 520? I worked hard. You had to memorize like 300,
Yeah.
3,000 words.
Words there.
I did that. I genuinely did that. I think I remember quite a few words there from there. I worked hard. What I did was for 45 days, I cut off contact with all my friends, also the person I was dating. So that way I was like a little blatant.
Totally focused. Yeah.
More than focus, I can tell people to shut off, right? Hey, I need my space, so now you need to shut off. Whoever you might be.
True.
Because I have to do this. I don't have a job.
Correct.
If I don't do well in my GRE, I can't go there. What can I do? So I worked hard. I got a decent score. My verbal could have been better. I got 720, then 520. So it was decent. 1240 score, right? No, I got 500 in verbal, 720 in quant. Essay writing, I got like very less, some 4 point something. But anyway, so I got an admit from University of Texas at Dallas. Then there was another university called Clemson. But University of Texas at Dallas is where all the Indians went.
Correct.
Pretty much, we ran the universities. We are running their universities even today.
True.
Yeah, Americans, if you're listening, yes, we run your master's courses. Okay. Yeah. So I went there. Thankfully, at that time, financial situation had just started to improve. My brother had gone to UK and he had started earning in pounds. My second brother was also doing a IT job. But I told my father that I don't want to borrow any money from my brothers. You know, like get me a loan. I'll pay it off. Don't get it. It's not like I think my brothers wouldn't do it.
Absolutely.
Somewhere I think it was some sort of a self-respect at that time. See, my brothers are really cool. Even today, I think if I ask them to sell a property for me, they'll do it. But I did not want to. Somewhere I wanted to do it on my own merit because it was a big expense.
Correct.
Why would I give trouble to anybody?
True.
So my father got a loan from his boss a little bit, and then he got a bank loan.
Okay.
So I went to US, and that's where I enjoyed studying so much. Because can you guess how many hours of classes we had in a week?
in a week.
in a week. Number of hours I had to sit in a class.
Taking Indian scenario, somewhere 8 hours a day and 6 days a week, it's 48 hours kind of a thing.
I had 7.5 hours of classes.
Seriously?
2.5 hours, that was the limit for everybody. 2.5 hours. See, their job was to guide, not to teach.
Wow.
They would finish enough syllabus. I enjoyed the projects, coding projects. I loved it. I think that's when I understood. I mean, I'd done decent enough coding in my engineering. I wrote my own programs. Again, right? Going back, I got less marks in my practical exams because I didn't buy hard the programs.
Yeah.
So when I wrote my own code, they were like, "Hey, why can't you follow the book?"
Correct.
I'm like, what is the point if I follow the book? So there was, I still remember there was a polynomial program, I believe, which I wrote my own code, and then he gave me 60. Minimum marks was 90 plus.
My God.
So
The required output also, you meant to say.
I showed the output, but it was not in line with, like, because he would have seen the same bloody
Correct.
code everywhere else.
Correct.
My code was different.
And he need to spend time
And I didn't
validating it
care. I'm
also.
like, okay, see, I get my joy in coding, and I not only I didn't care, I didn't complain also. I'm like, okay, see, look, this is inconsequential. I think my identity was never based on my marks then and even today, right? We're evolving, so that coding came very handy. So what I would do is I would finish all my, the day they gave me a project assignment, I would start from that day.
Wow.
That's so much fun. I still remember my first year. We had to come up with, there was a wireless protocol called 802.11b. Now it is probably very H or something, whatever. So we had to do some optimization. The greatness of education there and the professor, Mr. Ravi Prakash, was I made an optimization which brought down the efficiency of the algorithm.
Efficiency of the algorithm. Okay.
Like, because I had to make some change and make sure I think the routing was faster.
Okay.
My idea made it slower.
Okay.
He still gave me good marks.
Because the trial.
Because what mattered was the approach.
Yeah.
Okay. I put in the effort.
True.
Correct. So it came down by some 20%, and I didn't want to cheat because it will look very stupid. Like somebody like him will call the bluff. So I famously wrote, minus 20% improvement. And to my surprise, I had gotten good marks, which is great, right? I think that's the kind of education system that you want to nurture.
True.
You don't want to create cheaters from school.
True.
That's where we corrupt minds. True. So my courses were great. I enjoyed studying. So there was a lab, famously. I would always be sitting in the lab. We didn't have laptops.
Yes, those days. Yes.
Right. I bought my first personal laptop 1 year ago. Until then, it was office laptops, but the computers were great. For me, the best thing was music streaming started around that time.
Okay.
I could listen to music on internet and code.
Wow. Okay.
And cool drinks were cheap. It was cheap. So I would go to the lab, sit there for the whole day. I would come back at like 5, 6 in the morning, again go to class. I thoroughly enjoyed. And I did not do a lot of off-campus jobs. I did very few off-campus jobs. My argument was, I have come here paying so much money.
True.
I'm not going to sweat it out in a grocery store. I will do it for the experience, but I want to spend more time in the lab. I want to learn coding. So thankfully that coding got me the confidence.